we got ourselves a new World Heavyweight Women's Champion. Naomi tells you proceed with caution. Look, I was like, we gonna come out the gate. I was like, that is what they needed. That was the big moment that they needed. Now, I was like, before Evolution, I was like, just like everybody else that sort of started piecing together with like Jay got the one Queen of the Ring, which means she's gonna face Tiffany at SummerSlam. There, we might get a possible cash in. But then I was thinking, I was like, well, I couldn't also think that they would try to have Jade not get the championship. You know, like I feel like she wouldn't have gotten the cash in. They would have had Jade win, and then they maybe build up something else. But as time goes on, we have this no holds barred match where it's like Naomi loses, and it's like it does seem like okay, maybe they're gonna say that cash in. But the more and more I was thinking of it, and I was just telling myself, you know, of all the other plans, you know, because there was only a thought of me. Because it really was during the actual Evolution that I was thinking. I was thinking a little bit like maybe a little bit beforehand that I was like, why would Seth cash in? We always talk about he could cash in on Cena's title, or we could say he could cash in on Gunther. But we wasn't doing that at all with Naomi. I get that it was tied to Jay and they were doing the stuff with Tiffany, but I was like, why weren't we putting that over on the Raw side? So then I was like thinking during like Evolution, I was like, especially once Tiffany and Trish went on first, I was like, why aren't we talking about it like this way? But once again, it's just to myself. But once Stephanie Vaquer won the Battle Royal, that's when I was to myself, you know, and all my other people that was here inside of my mind, you know, I felt like Randy Orton because it was just my voice. That she's gonna cash in on Rhea and Io, just because I was thinking, and I was like, and it was something I heard other people when they were trying to figure out who's gonna win the Battle Royale. A lot of people said Vaquer, and they said Nikki Bella, and I'm like, well, if Rhea wins or if Io wins, you got Stephanie there, and it's like, wow, that would be a big matchup. They're all kind of baby faces, so would they want to do that? And actually again, because you think about it, I was like, they're really doing a lot of these matches have been babyface, and that's not. And even though we don't really do it like that anymore, babyface and heels, that still is sort of a thing that the format that we use here. And I was like, so once she won, I was like, oh, Naomi's going to cash in. Now, once I actually was seeing that was an awesome, great ass match, even with the stupid ref bump or whatever, just because I'm like, she was out for so long off of a drop kick or whatever that they were able to go outside the ring and all this other stuff. But during that great match, I was thinking, I was like, man, are they really going to have Rhea win here? Because I think that Io should beat Rhea again, and this should just be a thing that Rhea can't beat Io. I think that's fine. I don't think, and plus I think that if she was going to beat Io, get her big moment, it's not going to be on Evolution. Let's be honest, it's going to be on one of the bigger pay-per-views, WrestleMania, something like that. But with that being said, I'm just like, oh man, how are they going to do this? How are they going to basically have these women come out clean? You know, because I was like, because they want to give Rhea, she on a pedestal, bro. So, and Io, while she's not, she is such a favorite. And then they found the perfect way with Naomi. And except for, I was like, what sucks is that I was like, they finally took away that stupid ass, I'm cashing in. Are you sure you're cashing in? Yes, I'm cashing in. They took away that whole thing where she brought in her own ref. When I was like, I don't understand it when you bring your own ref. Why they ask that question? You came with me. How do you not? When this is like the ref that was in there, I can maybe understand that. But when this is a ref, it's like, I brought you here. Why was you chasing me if I didn't? Anyway, besides the point. But they did have it where, like, I don't know if Naomi was like, I was like, but that whole point where she, like, you could tell she about to hit her with the briefcase, and they rung the bell, but she wasn't done with the announcement. Then she was like, Naomi like, finish the announcement or whatever. And I was like, what does it matter? If you hit her before the bell or hit her after the bell, it doesn't matter. Not just because it's a triple threat, but also, like, it's not a one-on-one, you know what I'm saying? Like you can hit them right now, or whatever. If it's a DQ, it doesn't matter. Your thing will start. What? Who cares? Hit her ass with the briefcase. Anyway, that's what she did. Naomi got the win. She is your new champion, and this is what everybody was talking about. Like they needed something. We sort of. I thought Saraya might pop up. I didn't believe AJ was going to show up. But I was like, but it was also like once the battle royale, which I hate. I was like, it was fine. I just hate battle royales formats. That's all it is. I'm like, I'd rather it be like I wish it was more Rumble Gauntlet type of style than just everybody in the ring, just because there's like so many people in the ring that so much is going on. Nobody can really get their stuff going, because even when they were doing like the 1-on-1 type of stuff where it was like Last Legend, Zelina, it was Julia, and it was Stephanie Valcour, and you know, so on and so on. You got so much stuff going around that it's like, it's too much. It's too much. But so I was like, I hate the format of the Battle Royale, but I like the Battle Royale. I think it came down really well. I think that it also was good that it was like Last Legend and Stephanie Valcour, just because I was like, Last Legend got to show off once again with her doing the whole thing with Nia Jax. You did have one, like a veteran there. I was like, I thought it was just good because of like having someone, because I was like, to be honest, you would have asked me, like I said, we thought most people had on Nikki Bella or Stephanie Valcour. I was like, I sort of was going with Valcour because I was like, you could bring back Nikki Bella any time that you want to and throw her into whatever. So you could do that. She's a legend. That's just what happened with Legend. Whereas like Stephanie Valcour, she's been on a winning streak. I was like, people are really over with her. Guess what? Throw her. I was like, you got a way to have her earn a #1 contendership. That's what she sort of did, without it seeming too shoehorn. You know, like to me, like that's a Legend thing. Trish getting that little thing with Tiffany, that was fine. I was like, it was an okay match. To be honest, the Evolution was really great throughout the whole show or whatever. Even the tag team that I thought, the tag team match that I thought was going to be lackluster, I think had a lot of stuff in it as well too, of playing off with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss and their whole combination, and everybody being over for Charlotte with this whole new role that she's doing really quickly. Which, you know, I was like, I feel like as long as you sort of see that you're trying, people are willing to invest. Yeah, and I was like, the Kabuki Warriors, they're cool. They're always cool. They always got like something going on. The Sol Ruka and Zarya thing, I was like, I wish they were sort of just like the odd people out. They were just sort of getting knocked around like they were, you know, because they were the young ones or whatever like that. But I think it was a cool moment with Charlotte pulled Alexa Bliss out the way. You know, Zarya hit Sol Ruka with the spear. But I think all that was, I was like, cool. That was probably the weakest of the night. I was like, Jade and Naomi, even though I want Naomi to win this before I even knew that what she was going to do with the thing or whatever. I was like, I was hoping for Naomi to win, but Jade got to go into SummerSlam on a high note, being strong or whatever, and it was a really good match. I was like, Bianca really didn't do too much to impact being a special guest referee to me or whatever, but I did like the fact that it's like, you know, they did use a table spot. Jade was basically still super like Hulk through all this or whatever, which is cool. I'm just saying that's what she is. And I was like, if she's going to face Bianca at some point, I was like, you know, there's going to be some type of looks or whatever when her and Rhea cross paths at some point, that like you want her to look like I got all y'all at the same time too. I was like, I hope that their whole thing still keeps going on the other side. Even though that Naomi will have the title on Raw, and then I think that was like, they still, like, you know, outside of pay-per-views where it's like you got both shows on it, and even though the brand loyalty stuff ain't really mattered as much this year, that I was like, but they have tried to keep the title sort of separate. The men not so much with the women's yet, but that's really because of John Cena more than anything, because Gunther ain't appeared on SmackDown. That I hope that they can still keep that animosity going. And give Naomi give her a whole run. Like, she should get like 3-4 months of this or whatever like that. I wish that Survivor Series wasn't back to doing that War Games stuff, over War Games. I wish it was back up, because guess what? If Jade Cargill beats Tiffany and she has her title at the same time Naomi is, we would get title versus, you know, how they used to do the old Survivor Series format. And I'm like, that would be great. That would be great. Just have a whole weekend long Friday, Saturday, and Monday, titles on the line against each other. That'd be cool. But we're not going to get that kind of dumbass War Games. yeah, I was like, I didn't really get to catch all of the Becky, the three way with Becky and Bailey and Lyra, but I was able to catch the rest of the all the smack. I mean, of all the Evolution, and I was like, they hit out. I was like, they hit out the park. I don't think none of the matches were boring. None of the matches were dull. None of the matches were like ugh. So, and I was like, that to me, that's a win for them. We knew that they were going to be great matches, but I was like, but with the formats of some of them, you didn't know how necessarily. You would know that they're going to bring it, but you didn't know to what degree they could bring it. I think they all got enough time as well too, because I was like, this was a really like 3 hour, 4 hour type of pay-per-view. And I was like, so everybody got their time in, and especially the last match, like I said, with Rhea and Io, that was a really great ass match. Gave it the whole amount of time, and then capped it off with the way that you needed to cap it off with. Evolution winning the book in a way that I was like, will they do another one next year? I don't know, but I do think that on such a short notice, and it's going to do good. And in the way that like people, I was like, look, I was like, the whole thing being filled with women is like a thing that is going to, I was like, it will work despite of however it is. I'm like, oh, women pay the whole pay-per-view. I'm like, if you did this with any like also group, guess what? You have a lot more people supporting, and people probably think that it wouldn't, because the internet's not always a real place. So we'll see if they get another one. Now to some lackluster type Saturday Night main event. Man, that thing was ass. The whole thing with Seth Rollins and LA Knight. LA Knight looked like he was mad that Seth Rollins got hurt or whatever, and they just had to end it. Or whatever, and it looked like Seth might actually be out for quite a while. I don't know if it's long enough for the Money in the Bank thing. I was like, but I don't also see them taking away the Money in the Bank, just because why would they when you have a whole year to do it? I was saying that, I was like, I thought I seen something that said it was the shoulder, but it was, you know, in the match it was the knee or whatever. But I think if he pretty much has a whole year, I feel like he should keep it, unless one of his stablemates is getting it. Braun or Bronson, like maybe like it was something like that where one of them gets to keep it. Be cool. I was like, I'm down with it, because I think that builds more intrigue in what their group is and what is their dynamic now that Seth is gone. Or whatever. Do somebody else come in, slips up, takes the place or something like that. So like, if he could make it come back within a year, he should keep the briefcase. But there's going to be something where it's like, we don't know when he's going to come back, then yeah, you might have to put it on the line or something like that. Or he keeps it, no Money in the Bank this year, you do it again next year or something like that, and all of a sudden there you got two of them wrong. You got, for the first time ever, be two men Money in the Banks. Well, also it don't come, I was like, Money in the Bank isn't until like it'll be like a year and some change later, so actually he got even more time, to be honest. But anyway, LA Knight got that victory. Jimmy versus Solo, it is what it is. We're just sort of building this thing. It was nothing to go home there. The Jelly Roll, Randy, I don't care. Although I will say, Jelly Roll like he lost some weight. Speaking of losing weight, I was like, it seemed like a lot of people lost weight. Like Jelly Roll like he lost weight. I was like, Rhea Ripley looked like she lost weight. It looked like Charlotte has been able to gain weight now that she's a little bit further from her injury and stuff like that. Like, not in no body weight, just in the way of she, like looking at athletes and being like, oh, okay, they're changing up their body kind of thing. You know, that's cool. Or whatever. There was somebody else that also seemed like they lost weight, but whatever. Look, Goldberg versus Gunther. I thought the match did what basically it did. It didn't have Goldberg look weak. I was like, Goldberg sort of hurt himself. He basically was injured or old. They sort of let that be like the match of it, and Gunther taking him out. I did like the fact that Goldberg was not over here being like, I ain't selling these shots. Like, you going, like, you know. And to be honest, you look at his chest, like, you could see it at the end, the imprints and stuff, but not like how he be crushing other people. So I think Goldberg was really eating them things. He did get a spear on Gunther. Thank God that jackhammer landed, because it looked like it was a little bit rough. It looked like Gunther got a little bit underneath there, but solid. It did what it was supposed to do. Gunther didn't lose his title, so all y'all can stop shitting bricks. Yeah, so I think I was like, that was obviously the best thing of Saturday Night main event, to be honest. Yeah, I was like, but Evolution took it away home. I was like, I didn't see AEW All In. I know that Hangman finished his story or whatever, but yeah. So I was like, cool on their end and stuff like that. But Evolution, they brought it home. They did all the stuff that they needed to do. Naomi, new champion. Yo, let's get it going. Proceed with